The object of this film is to show you, first of all, what happens when one is taken prisoner. Secondly, how one should conduct oneself. And thirdly, the consequences of disobedience to orders and procedure when in the hands of the enemy. You should remember that although a prisoner of war, you are still a British subject and under the orders of the Royal Air Force. Obedience to these orders and procedure means that, far from being of no further service to your country, on the contrary, you can continue to be of great service to your country and your comrades. The enemy hopes to obtain valuable information from every prisoner, and this film will show you some of the methods he employs, some of the tricks he uses to wheedle that information, which, if obtained, might prove disastrous both to your country and friends. All the information you should give in the event of falling into the enemy's hands is your name and rank or number. You should not, indeed you must not, converse with the enemy in any circumstances at all, and you should never discuss any military subject with your fellow prisoners. This film will show you how even a whispered conversation can give information of great value to the enemy. The sources of information and the methods employed by the enemy in this film are based on fact, having been compiled from the notes of officers and other ranks who were prisoners of war and escaped, or managed to get the information through. Now, you're all conversant with the procedure before taking off on an operational flight. At an Air Force station somewhere in England, the fellows on duty are just taking off. So I will introduce you to the characters in this film, whose adventures you will follow, and from whose experience I'm sure you will learn the lesson this film has to impart. Captain of the aircraft, Flight Lieutenant Wise. His friend, second pilot and navigator, Flying Officer North. The other two members of the crew, Sergeant Ray, the wireless operator, and Sergeant Keane, the gunner.
Well, now that everybody's all set, routes worked out, letters and colours of the day, MSIs, Met reports, wireless procedure, and there's only one thing left. Turn out your pockets. Sergeant, get the envelopes. Now take care you get rid of everything that might lead to identification. It's a damn nuisance, I know, but the smallest piece of paper may give information to the Hun. So make sure you've got nothing left in your pockets. All right, chaps. Get dressed up.
This sort of thing is the ordinary routine, and as a matter of fact, everybody returned undamaged from this show, excepting our friends Wise, North, Ray, and Keane. They had a piece of bad luck. A Hun Archie caught them pretty squarely, and although Wise made a wizard landing, it was well within enemy territory.
All right, boys, pack up. There we go.
Good. We have work to do. Steinitz? The crew of the British bomber are now being searched. There are 2 officers. I think you had better entertain our guests.
Very good, sir. These will be returned to you in due course.
Thank you.
Ah, gentlemen, I am very glad for myself, but sorry for you that you are here. Heinrich, some drinks, please. Whiskey and soda.
Oh, no, please.
But you must join me in an aperitif, and then perhaps some lunch? You must be very hungry. Lieutenant, you were very successful in destroying your airplane. Those Ansoms take some burning.
Oh, ours wasn't that. It's very good of you, but my friend and I don't drink.
Oh, well, you eat, yeah?
Oh, yes, we eat.
Well, you must have some lunch with me. But first we have one or two little matters to discuss. So if you will follow me, please. Excuse Lieutenant Wise.
You will excuse these formalities, Sergeant. We have found nothing on you. And you have made a very good job of destroying your machine, huh? It was very bad luck.
I'll say it was.
You had finished your job?
Sure.
Bombing?
Now listen, Fritz. I'm saying nothing.
Oh, so, but you must be thirsty. We have a little drink, huh?
Now you're talking.
Sergeant Muller, some English beer, huh?
What? You got English beer here?
Oh, yes, some supplies we obtained. Had you begged any of our fellows?
Well, I did. A Messerschmitt 110.
When was that?
Oh, last week.
In the same machine that you came down in, the Hudson?
Yes.
Ah, that type has 2 guns.
2 guns? 4.
It is all the luck of the game, as you say. Ah, the beer.
Thank you.
Now you will
Thanks.
excuse. I'll see you later. Excuse. I'm sorry, but I must lock you in.
Not bad fellows, are they?
No, but don't you think you've been talking a bit too much?
Me? I've said nothing.
Well, you never know. They're an awful lot of devils. There's one thing we mustn't let them know, and that's where we've come from.
Of course not.
Found nothing on the prisoners, sir, except some loose money, their watches and pencils, all of which have been recorded. I found that in the lining of Sergeant Keene's jacket.
Does he know you found it?
No, sir, I concealed it from him.
Good. That'll do, Sergeant.
May I ask, what is this document?
Not exactly a document, Spielman. An omnibus ticket. See that hole? Well, that was punched at the name of the place where Keene boarded the omnibus. See? Northolt. As you may know, Northolt is an aerodrome. And he traveled as far as Harrow to meet his girl, probably. Well, Spielman, we know where our prisoners come from.
You'll pardon me, sir, but it doesn't sound a very valuable piece of information.
All information is valuable, Spielman. You'll see how I shall make use of it. Come in.
Flight Lieutenant Wise, sir.
Good morning, Lieutenant. Congratulations on your safe landing.
Thank you, Captain.
Damn it, chap. Won't you be seated? You are Lieutenant Wise.
Flight Lieutenant Wise.
Flight Lieutenant Wise, from Northolt. 15th Squadron of the 51st Bomber Command. I believe my information is correct.
My information for you, sir, is my name, which is Wise, and my rank, which is Flight Lieutenant. I'm afraid I have nothing further to add.
My dear Wise, we have your complete record. We know everything. But of course, if you prefer to say nothing...
Insulting young swine, sir. I'd have beaten him up.
Restraint pays, Spielman. He acted quite properly. If I were in his place, I'd do the same. I can only hope that all our prisoners behave as well as this Britisher.
Keeping Wise ahead of a time?
Oh, so.
Mr. North, will you come with me, please?
Where's Flight Lieutenant Wise?
Or you will see him again later.
How can we get information if they won't speak?
I did get one piece of information.
Oh, what?
When I mentioned the station, Northolt, he said nothing but looked a lot. That confirms the information we got from Keene's bus ticket. Come in.
Flying Officer North, sir.
Oh, yes. Nice. Flying Officer North. You were stationed at Northolt. Flight Lieutenant Wise did say Northolt.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you have some very fine machines there, Mr. North. I should like to have seen the one you so opportunely destroyed. They tell me it will do 250.
No, they can do more than that, sir.
Really? What did you say was the number of your squadron?
I didn't mention my squadron.
Oh, Flight Lieutenant Wise saw no reason why I should not know the number of his squadron, seeing that I knew where he came from. I merely wondered whether you were in the same squadron as Lieutenant Wise.
Yes, we are in the same squadron.
You are a navigator, Mr. North.
Yes, sir.
Did you have much difficulty in finding your way?
Oh, no, this isn't my first trip.
Good flying conditions?
Not so bad. Bit bumpy over the channel, though.
Our fellows tell us you have been having quite good weather.
Plenty of low cloud, though.
Well, Mr. North, I think that is all. I assure you we will make your enforced stay here as comfortable as we can. By the way, we have another of your fellows here. Would you like to meet him?
Yes, that's very good of you.
Steinmetz, introduce Mr. North to Mr. Summers.
Very good, sir. Please.
Thank you.
When are these blighters going to give us something to eat? I'm starving.
So am I.
I wish we could get out of here.
Excuse Mr. Summers. I have a friend in misfortune.
Oh, really?
This is Mr. North, Mr. Summers.
How are you?
How do you do? Gentlemen, excuse?
Certainly.
Well, old boy, what happened to you? Fight or rag?
No, matter of fact, a bit of Han Archie got us this morning.
Tough luck. I was shot down over Amiens. I was with Group Captain Painter's crowd. You know, old Teddy.
Lord, yes, he used to be my old CO.
Great scout, isn't he?
Rather.
Take a pew.
Oh, thanks, I will. They seem to treat you pretty well.
Oh, the Huns not so bad, you know. After all, we treat their fellows pretty decently. I suppose they think they ought to do the same to us.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I'm waiting to go to some wretched hole near Berlin, I believe. You're bombers, aren't you?
Yes, Northolt.
Northolt. What squadron are you then?
16.
Do you know Frank Atkinson?
Atkinson?
Oh.
No, I never met him.
He was a great friend of mine. Well, have a cigarette, old boy, will you? I'm sorry I can't offer you players. Have some air salts.
Thanks very much. They took all my stuff from me in that little room, you know. And my message.
Gentlemen, excuse. With the compliments of the Mess President, Flying Officer North, will you lunch with us?
That's very nice of you. Thanks, I will. Excuse me.
Oh. Intelligence. Private Holstein speaking, sir.
Did you get the number of their squadron?
Yes, sir. The prisoner, North, said 16.
Oh, 16.
Yes, Captain.
Good. Keep him talking.
Do you think we've got any chance of escape?
Only one, I reckon, is if some of our fellows were to come over and bomb here. We might get away in the confusion.
Pretty poor chance of that.
Oh, I don't know so much.
What do you mean?
Well, I was talking to Fatty Banks a couple of days ago. You know Fatty. Well, he's just got his flight and been posted to the new bomber command. He was telling me that they're planning a big show with those American Rapier 20s.
Lucky blighter. I saw one the other day. They're grand. When's the show coming off? He said first fine day. You know what sort of weather we've been having lately.
Where is this new command?
At the new aerodrome. It's just near us. Fatty wouldn't let on where it was. Said it was all hush-hush.
He probably didn't know. Proper sprucer, Fatty. Who's the CO?
Jock Sutherland. He's a group captain.
What, him? Why, my girl drives him. She's in the WAFs, you know. Well, I'm blowed. I had a row with her the other night about him. We had a date at Harrow to go to the pictures. I ran like hell to catch the bus and got there on the tick of time and then had to wait 40 minutes for her.
What was her excuse?
She had to drive the CO, this Jock Sutherland, from Northolt to Northbridge.
And how many miles is that? I said. 6, she said. Oh, I said, it takes 45 minutes to drive from Northolt to Northbridge, 6 miles, and from Northbridge to Harrow, which is 8 miles.
Did the CO want to stop and look at the scenery for the rest of the time, I said. Ooh, I was wild.
What did she say?
Said I was jealous. Would you believe it? Me, jealous.
day, Captain Betzop.
Now,
What information have you obtained from the prisoners?
just this, sir. Flight Lieutenant Wise, Flying Officer North, Sergeant Ray and Sergeant Keane are members of the 16th Squadron of the Medium Bomber Command stationed at Northolt.
Yes.
And from interrogation, we have learnt that there is a new aerodrome recently commissioned in the vicinity of Northolt.
Good. Show me.
I will, sir. I have an ordnance map here, sir. Here is Northolt. Here is the town of Harrow. The new aerodrome lies 8 miles from Harrow and 6 from Northolt. I judge that it must be on this flat land here, sir, which is in line with these precise distances.
Excellent. Is it a bomber or fighter unit?
A bomber command, sir.
What type of machine?
A new one. An American, a Rapier 20. And I've learned, sir, that this command is planning a large-scale raid.
Ah, that's important. You must find out when, Captain.
Yes, sir. If I may suggest it, sir, we should make immediate plans for a raid and catch the British before they take off.
Excellent suggestion. Report to me as soon as you know.
Sir. Send in the English prisoner, Sergeant Keane.
Not bad grub, you know, Ray.
No, not bad. I wonder how long it's going to last, though. They seem to be lashing us up too well for my liking. It all looks a bit phony to me. I wonder when they're going to interrogate us. They always do, prisoners, you know.
Oh, well, they'll get nothing out of me.
Well, mind you don't tell them where we've come from or the number of our squadron or anything.
Trust me. I'll tell them we come from Harrogate and that I'm in the Coastal Command.
Oh, I wish it was over. I hate this hanging about.
You'll get plenty of that from now on.
So you finished your dinner, eh? You like it?
Oh, not so bad, Fritz. Not so good as our grub, but still.
Oh, well, the commandant wants to see you. Not you, you kid.
Now for it.
What is your name, Sergeant?
Keane, sir. Number 85341.
You are the air gunner.
Yes, sir.
What is your unit, Sergeant Keane?
The 51st Squadron, sir. The 6th Bomber Command, Harrogate.
Harrogate. That is a new aerodrome.
Yes, sir.
You insolent young puppy! Do you think you can make a fool of me with your lies? Sergeant, when this interrogation is over, give this man 3 days solitary confinement, bread and water. Any more lies from you, you get a month. You understand, Sergeant, that I know everything. And unless you answer me truthfully, you'll get yourself into trouble. Very serious trouble. Now, I know that you and your companions belong to the 16th Squadron of the Medium Bomber Command, stationed at Northolt. I know quite a lot about you, Sergeant. Our spies in your country are everywhere. For instance, I know that before coming off on this flight, you went to the pictures last Saturday night in Harrow with your lady friend.
How did you know that, sir?
It is my business to know, and it is your duty to answer me truthfully. Now, there is a new aerodrome at Northbridge.
Well, I didn't know that, sir.
Maybe not, but I am telling you that your lady friend is employed there.
What? Well, she never said a word to me about it.
She may have said quite a lot to somebody else.
I don't believe that.
That is your concern. Now, Keane, at this new aerodrome, there are some new type bombers.
Yes, sir. They're fine. And they'll beat anything you've got.
That is a matter of opinion. Still, I am glad to know that you are now speaking the truth. You may cancel that 3 days sentence, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Now, the machine you came down in was a Hudson. Well, we know what Hudsons are like. My people tell me the bomb sights are not so good.
They're not bad, sir. But the sight they've got on the Rapier 20, this American invention, is accurate up to 15,000 feet. And the pal of mine can get a 25-foot error. And it isn't a line, either.
Still, obviously a day bomber.
Rather, with a bomb sight like that.
What do you think of the Hun intelligence bloke?
Oh, not so bad. They tried to shoot me up once or twice, but gave it up as a bad job.
Started pumping me about the weather. Seems keen to know all about it.
Oh, I could tell him what it's like now. We had a hell of a bumpy crossing. Low cloud and a 40-mile wind from the southwest. Of course, our Met fellows reckon this weight of low pressure will last another 2 or 3 days, and then we'll hope for a fine spell for a week.
Weather conditions won't affect us for some time.
No, I suppose not.
Gentlemen, excuse. Flying Officer North. You will come with me to your quarters now.
Is Flight Lieutenant Wise there?
You will see him again later.
All right, well, cheerio, Thomas.
Cheerio, North. See you later. Intelligence.
Hello, where's my pal, Keene? You will see him later. The Commandant wishes to speak to you now. Sergeant Ray, sir.
Yes, you are Sergeant Ray.
Yes, sir.
You are the radio operator.
Yes, sir.
16th Squadron Medium Bomber Command, Northolt.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I've just been talking to Keene, your air gunner. He's a friend of yours.
I've known him for some time, sir.
Yes, but your chief friend is, Fatty Banks, isn't he?
Yes, sir, but how did you know that?
Yes, as a matter of fact, your friend Banks was taken prisoner less than an hour ago.
But that's impossible, sir. Why, they weren't due to start until...
Until when?
I don't know exactly, sir. But I know Fatty told me they weren't going to start until the weather had cleared.
Oh, you've been having bad weather over your way.
Yes, it's been very bad, sir.
Well, perhaps your friend's plane was on reconnaissance.
Maybe, sir, but I can't understand it. Fatty told me he was going to be in a big show.
Tell me, Captain, what reasons have you for stating that this British raid will take place on the 23rd?
In the first place, sir, we know from the information obtained from the prisoners that the new aerodrome at Northbridge is in full commission and that it has its full complement of Rapier 20s. We also know that the British have made every endeavor to keep the locality and the full strength of this new command as secret as possible, even from its own people. The prisoner raised friends. Let me see. What was his name? Ah, yes. Fatty Banks, whom I pretended had been taken prisoner, anticipated taking part in this show, as they call it, directly the weather allowed. From the prisoner North, we obtained as full a meteorological report as one could wish. In fact, he repeated to one of my men the meteorological report he had had before taking off. The present wedge of low pressure will have passed on the morning of the 22nd. Therefore, sir, on the morning of the 23rd, the raid will take place.
Yes, I see. I think you're right, Captain. So that means that we shall have to be there just a few hours earlier.
I am revealing no secret when I tell you that the German raid took place. Fortunately, the results were not quite as bad as might have been expected. But a number of good men lost their lives without even a chance of getting a smack at the enemy. The plans to carry out our raid had to be deferred, and we lost over 20 aircraft. I don't think I'm putting all the blame on Sergeant Keene, but as you will have observed, his overlooked bus ticket gave the German intelligence officer his first clue. You see, once the German knows where you come from, he's got a line to talk about. As two strangers meeting for the first time seek a subject of mutual interest, so the German intelligence officer looks for a clue. He found it from Keene's bus ticket, and he got something else too. Nothing pleases the intelligence more than to spring a piece of information on you suddenly and take you off your guard. Even Wise tripped up.
Yes, Flight Lieutenant Wise.
Flight Lieutenant Wise, of Northolt.
The reaction of Wise confirms the location of his unit. Although the German intelligence officer was unable to obtain the identity of their unit from either Wise or North, the next trick is the German impersonating the British officer. I cannot emphasize too strongly that you should never talk to any fellow prisoner unless you know him personally, and even then, you should never discuss any military matters with him. The German played the British officer to perfection. even pretending to know mutual acquaintance.
You're bombers, aren't you?
From Northolt.
Northolt. What squadron are you then?
16.
Do you know Frank Atkinson?
Atkinson? No, I never met him.
Having learnt the identity of their unit and its location, the next item on the Hun agenda is the type of aircraft, performance, and armament. You remember the scene between the jolly German NCO and Keane.
Had you bagged any of our fellows?
Well, I did. A Messerschmitt 110.
When was that?
Oh, last week.
In the same machine you came down in? The
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
That has 2 guns.
2 guns? 4.
You will have noticed that the interrogating officer doesn't insult your intelligence. He knows quite well that no man of the Air Force would ever wittingly disclose anything he considered to be of vital importance to the enemy. But you will recall how the most secret information was obtained through idle chatter, overheard by means of a concealed microphone. The idle chatter of Ray and Keane told the Germans, 1, there was a new aerodrome near their own, 2, there was a new type bomber at this station, and 3, the rumor of an impending large-scale raid. When Ray and Keane were talking about Fatty Banks, they hadn't the slightest idea that their conversation was being overheard. Now, neither Ray nor Keane, nor indeed any of the prisoners, know when this show is coming off. But observe how the German intelligence piece this jigsaw puzzle together and find out this most vital piece of information. First, the GIO discovers the position of the new aerodrome through Ray and Keane's chatter. You remember Keane's annoyance because his girlfriend had kept him waiting.
And then had to wait 40 minutes for her.
What was her excuse?
She had to drive the CO, this Jock Sutherland chap, from Northolt to Northbridge. How many miles is that, I said. 6, she said. Oh, I said, it takes you 45 minutes to drive from Northolt to Northbridge, 6 miles, and from Northbridge to Harrow, which is 8 miles.
The German intelligence now has to find out when this large-scale operation is to take place, day or night. He knows there is a new type bomber. Is it a day bomber or a night bomber? You will recall how Keane was flabbergasted at the knowledge the German intelligence possessed. Bullied and punished because of his lying, and then, relieved by the cancellation of his punishment, entered into a friendly chatter about a new type day bomber.
You tell me the bomb sights are not so good.
They're not bad, sir. But the sight they've got on the Rapier 20, it's an American invention, is accurate up to 15,000 feet. And a pal of mine can get a 25-foot error. And it isn't a line either.
Obviously, day bombers.
So it will be a day operation, says the German intelligence. When is the next problem? He finds the answer from the lips of Ray and North. From Ray, who swallowed the lie about the capture of his friend, Fatty Banks.
As a matter of fact, your friend Banks was taken prisoner less than an hour ago.
But that's impossible, sir. Why, they weren't due to leave until...
Until when?
I don't know exactly, sir. But Fatty told me they weren't going to leave until the weather had cleared.
The German intelligence officer now wants a Met report. He got it from North. You remember his conversation with Summers?
Started pumping me about the weather. Seems keen to know all about it.
Oh, I could have told him what it's like now. We'd a hell of a bumpy crossing. Low cloud and a 40-mile wind from the southwest. Of course, our Met fellows reckon that this wedge of low pressure will last another 2 or 3 days, and then we'll hope for a fine spell for a week.
The conclusion the German intelligence arrived at was an obvious one. And within the limits of a normal risk, they planned their raid to take place a few hours before our fellows started off, caught them on the ground. Of course, this is only one instance. It would take a full-length film to demonstrate all the methods the Hun employs. But before we end, should you be taken prisoner, all you have to do is to give your name, your rank, and your number. Don't say anything to anybody, even your closest friend, about Air Force, naval, or military matters. Don't be downhearted if captured. Opportunity for escape may present itself. Keep your eyes and ears open for any information which you think may be of value, should you succeed in escaping. And keep your mouth shut.